What is up, guys? Today I come to you with another weekly chapter of Gintama, and this week's chapter, chapter 583. When I said, is it a fluke or not, it was not a fluke. It was like, I could not believe how he came back. I mean, if he was to die that way, then all that hype about him being this powerful being and him being immortal and all of that sorts would have been flowing down the drain. But the way he came back, so we know that last week's chapter, Umibozu had the Altana crystal that was actually supposed to be used to help bring back his wife Coca's life, but unfortunately he came at the last minute and she died, she passed away. So he was keeping that in a way to say, like, if a moment like this was to occur, and of course if you was to use an Altana that was being grown in a different planet aside from the one where you're consuming the Altana, it can destroy the person's body and in a sense killing them. So he used the Altana from the dying Yato planet. I'm sorry, from the Yato planet that Coco was living on. And because Yutsuro was on a different planet when he was consuming the Altana that caused him to live for so many years, he thought that would have killed him. So he stuck his hand in through his chest and implanted the Altana crystal into his heart and crushed his heart, and it killed him. That's what we would have thought, but it was so crazy because it's like you would have thought, okay, he's gone, or somehow he's gonna generate right back up, in which he did. He regenerated, but the way he regenerated was earlier in the fight when Abuto took his right arm off. For the whole fight that he was fighting with Umibozu, he didn't have a right arm. He actually poured all of his Altana powers into his right arm just in case something like that occurred and he needs to be brought back. He poured all of the power into his right arm, and that's how he regenerated back into his full form. Well, he's still regenerating, and because he used so much power, he had to leave the fight without giving Umibozu like a whole gigantic gash through the middle, and it leaves Umibozu without both his arms, and he has a gapping wound from like in the middle of his stomach through his side, and unfortunately Umibozu is done for because this guy has no way of coming back. I mean, he's nearly cut in half. He doesn't have his arms. He's bleeding immensely. And Kamui is coming into this. He's seen that his father is laying on the ground, and I don't know if he has any remorse for his father because really all is on his mind is, I need to fight you, and you're gonna show me this pitiful state. You mean to tell me I took your left arm, you got back your left arm, and you need that same arm to come fight your wayward son, and you need to tell me you're gonna present to me such a disgraceful presence, and you know I'm gonna come to fight you. And Kamui is about to go in and try to fight his father, who cannot move a muscle, who's almost dead, and then Gintoki comes in and saves the day, stopping Kamui in his tracks by jumping down from the cliff above. So Yutsuro leaves the scene. This is part of his victory, but at the same time, it's Umibozu's victory. Now we can kind of guess how to defeat Yutsuro now, but I don't know how they're gonna be able to do it because we don't know if they're going to be able to find any more of the Altana power from a different planet in order to defeat Yutsuro, or how much of it are they going to use in order to secure victory against him, because this guy, he's thinking a step ahead or 10 steps ahead of his opponent, that is going to be very difficult for when Gintoki and the rest of the characters to go and face up against him. And poor Kagura, she's coming in and seeing this whole entire mess, and she is surviving. Okay, she came out the rubble, but she is injured. But she came out and she saw the whole mess, and I don't know how this is gonna affect her now. I think this is gonna really damage her psychologically now, seeing her father dead, her first brother, he's not changing, and I don't know how she's gonna feel afterwards, if she's gonna be on bent hell revenge against Yutsuro for what he has done, and everything that she has been going through from a young child, seeing her mother on a bed sick and dying right there. Her mother basically died in her arms, and her family being broken apart and all of this. I don't know how Kagura is going to deal with all of this mess that's happening, and how Gintoki is going to try to get Kamui to see some sense, get some light into his life, telling him, this is a crucial moment that we're at, and we don't have no time to be fighting with each other. But this was a freaking crazy chapter, a conclusion to this fight. And Yutaro is just a deadly character, and he cannot be dealt with lightly. And we don't know how the characters are going to deal with him after this. Even that simple little hope that we had, I don't know if that's going to be enough to defeat him, but we'll just have to see for the upcoming chapters. So if you saw this chapter, do comment below on how you felt on this conclusion of the Umibozu versus Yutaro fight. What are your predictions for next chapter? The links are in the description box, so you guys can click on that. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye.